PlayStation uses great games.
PlayStation.
Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, or good bloody well evening, and welcome to Cross Button, our fortnightly deep dive into all things PlayStation. I am Dan, your host, your guide, even your muse for the next 30 minutes, and I'm giving my usual big, energetic PS high fives to the other two resident ponies joining me on this fine, sunny June day. It is the ever-dual Sunspell and Dualicious Heather. Hi, Heather.
Hello. How's it going?
Of course, we need to bow down to Shadowfax, Lord of the Ponies. It's Laurie. Hi, Laurie.
Hi there, Dan.
Hello, mate. You okay?
Hi. Yeah, a little bit hungover.
Yes.
A little bit hungover. How many drinks? How many drinks get you hungover?
Oh, 6 pints of something.
6?
It's been a while since I've been out, so.
What were you drinking?
Oh, all sorts, Heather. A bit of bitter, bit of lager, a bit of crafty.
Couple of shandies. A couple of appletinis.
My friend I go to, out for
Temple.
beer with, you can sort of like say, "Oh, can you get one of those?" And he'll just go to the bar and just order completely random things every time, just to see what they are. I mean, he just wants to try as many things as possible.
Oh, what's this?
So
A
he orders
steamboat?
a big glug of it
Strong.
and pass it over. And I'm like, "Oh, cheers, mate."
Good. Heather, how many drinks get you hammered?
Depends.
Bit forward, you know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, it's like 8 pints.
Good, there we
Which
go.
is pretty solid. 8 pints.
more like it.
I had 4 espresso martinis on Thursday and
good
was
choice.
a bit pissed. So, less
Good.
than. But yeah.
Good. Probably takes me about 8 to 10 pints, I think. And then I'll be like on my way. But I've kind of said so for the last couple of weeks that I've really struggled to get drunk last couple of times that I've been out and still got the hangover. So, I don't know. But I do end up walking past Tesco's and sending the patron group videos of me going like this to trolleys that are just like on their own, like, come on.
Yeah, you can tell.
That's
when
usually a good
Dan's
sign
good
that I've
night.
had too many.
So anyone that is not a patron yet that wants to sign up, you can get some quality videos of Dan walking home drunk at the end of the night, trying to chat up trolleys.
Yeah. It's usually I'll wake
I
up.
feel like that's worth it more than anything else.
I see, same humour.
Why isn't
That's
that
why
listed as
that's
a
why-
benefit on the Patreon?
It's so funny. Can I have some of them next time?
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
100%. I'll find it for you. Yeah, I've already got some. I saved them to a special folder.
You just actually love that, Heather. 'Cause
Cute
he's like
trolleys
talking
I've
to them
seen
as if
on
they're
the
cats. He's
street.
like, as if they're little cats that are going to
amazing.
come over and I
Yeah,
don't know, do what.
don't over-explain it. Like, it's funny when it's just out of context, and it's only ever funny once. And it's never funny when I send like 6 videos the same. Oh, God's sake, terrible. Anyway, we're going to jump into what we've been playing. Heather, what have you been playing, mate?
This one's a little wild. I've been playing Sunless Skies on the
Okay.
PC. Ooh,
What?
I know,
That's not PlayStation.
but I'm about to get Jedi Fallen Order,
Ah, okay.
and I am also playing The Quarry on PS5.
Ooh,
Decent.
to be
Okay.
fair.
What do you want to? What? So you've said the PC game first. So why has
Yep.
that captured your imagination more so to talk about it today? What's interesting about it?
It's really difficult. I've actually been playing it for years, and I basically just have a PC now that's good enough to play it.
Okay.
And basically, it's just really hard, but it's also like I don't really have to do much. There's total around space as a. I don't know if you guys have ever like played it or know anything about it, but you basically are a train driver captain in space.
What's the name of the game again? Because I need to Google
Sunless
it.
Skies.
Sunless. Sorry for my horrible
Yeah.
keyboard.
From
Okay,
Fail Better.
so that literally is a train in the sky.
Yeah, train in space.
Hey, that's got a good rating. That 9 out of 10 on Steam.
I like heartily recommend. It is on consoles now. They just released it, I'm sure, on consoles as well.
You can get it on
Um,
Switch, according to this.
It'd
had
be
a
a really good
Kickstarter.
Switch, really good Switch title actually.
Can you get
'Cause
it
you
on
just sort of, like-
PlayStation? Just, this PlayStation podcast that we're on?
You can.
Yes,
There's a
You can,
it looks like it came out in 2021.
That's
So you-
fine.
yeah.
I'll
They
allow
did a
it.
full like console release, I think. But yeah, it's good.
And is it like a take on I mean, what is it? Just an exploration kind of game?
Yeah,
or-
it's exploration and like it's kind of eldritchy, I guess.
Okay.
It's got like steampunky vibes, which isn't normally like my cup of tea particularly, but I just picked it up from Rezzed a couple of years ago, and it's just something I go back to quite regularly.
Is the space
Captain-
plane on rails, or is it just can float around?
No,
anywhere?
no. It's like top down, isn't it? So, captain a spacefaring steam locomotive as a new Victorian empire takes the stars. Lead your hapless crew into trouble and out of their minds. Smuggle souls, barter for barrels of time, and stop for cricket and a nice cup of tea.
That doesn't sound very realistic. I'm not
It
buying
doesn't,
it.
but
I mean,
it looks
you were
very cool.
You were trained in space, so
How does the steam engine work in space? What's the science there? Come on. They haven't thought this
magic.
through. No, okay.
Do you like do you only play grounded games, Laurie? You know, is that your thing? Because I can.
Yes, Dan. No,
Hopefully
no,
guess
that's
you're
thinking
not
about
sh-
robot dinosaurs was very grand.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say.
what I thought. Yeah, that's right. You walked into that one. Okay, so other than that, the Quarry, how's that?
Really
Treating
good.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really good. I've been looking forward to this for ages because Until Dawn's one of my absolute faves. And it's cracking. It looks great. It plays great. It's spoopy. Perfect.
Is it the same as the? Because you had Until Dawn, and then there
Yes.
was the Thingy trilogy. What were they called?
Yeah.
That you,
So you have Until Dawn, and then you have the Dark Picture Anthology, which
That's
is there's 3/4 so far, and then the Quarry is the second like full length game. Dan's being attacked
So
by
it's
a
like,
bee, by the
is
way,
it,
everybody.
call it like
So
a spiritual successor to Until Dawn, even if
that's
it's
what
completely different.
that's like the party line, yeah. So it's I think that's their way of saying it's not one of the short ones. It's separate to the Dark Pictures, but it's obviously quick time events.
Are you
do
playing it
make
with someone
decisions.
or just yourself?
So I play it movie night mode with my partner. So you basically just swap one controller between the two of you, and say there's like 6 characters you take through each,
oh
and
right,
then
okay.
you crack through it that way.
Yeah, because can't you play it like? I'm sure there's something. Is it 6 or 8 players you can play it online co-op mode?
Yeah,
So how does that
And you
work?
can do it
How does that
solo.
work, Heather?
I think you just take one person each, or if there's less of you, you take the same couple, and then you watch
Oh, okay.
each other
So you
going,
and your
and then
character's
it's
on
almost
screen, but, oh, it's me.
yeah.
Ah.
So you do certain parts of the chapters normally with 1 or 2 of the characters, and then you switch.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Definitely
very
worthwhile
good.
getting
That sounds
into.
awesome.
And what was the third game that you mentioned, Head?
Oh, I'm going to buy Jedi Fallen Order.
So what's made you say you want to buy it?
Because I saw only today someone describe it as a Souls-like.
Oh, really? Taking that long? Okay, cool.
Because I just wasn't interested, because I'm decidedly not interested in games led by just standard dudes. So I was a bit
Fair.
like, you know, in the world of Star Wars, you picked one fella again. So it wasn't something I was that bothered about. But then I've just seen more footage recently and a big discussion about the gameplay, and having just done Elden Ring. And it's also $8.99 in the sale. So
Oh, really? That's a bargain. Mm-hmm. It's a great game. The last third of it is probably one of my favourite sections of Star Wars games or content ever. It is absolutely brilliant. And yeah, see your point in terms of male-led gameplay. I'm trying to think about the female characters in that game, and it isn't as... Like, Star Wars has always been pretty good, I think, for representation, as in it always tries to do certain things, and then it fucked it up with the recent trilogy, which was a bit silly. So, yeah, see what you
I
think.
do think the
Curious to know.
supporting female characters in Jedi Fallen Order are the best things about it, really. I won't say too much because it'll be spoilers, but I think they're just all the rest of the supporting cast are far more interesting than the main characters. So it's worth playing just to see those characters' stories played out.
Yeah, it's not Princess that needs saving or anything stupid like that again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Laurie, come on, mate. What have you been playing?
I'm still just playing Cyberpunk, so I can carry on waxing on about that for a bit.
Get off.
The other thing I've been playing is a bit more of The Last Campfire, which I played a lot of a few months ago and then never got around to finishing it. But I've recently resubbed to Apple Arcade through the Apple One plan that gives you everything, so I picked that up again and I'm nearly at the end of that. So yeah, highly recommend The Last Campfire for anyone that wants to just a quick kind of indie, very nice puzzles, very nice aesthetic, very well presented. It's by Hello Games, the people that made that one in space, Sean Murray.
No Man's Sky.
So yeah, No Man's Sky. Yeah,
Sorry,
it's very good.
it's,
It's quite a short game. I think it's probably about 6 or 7 hours to complete. I think I'm about 6 hours in. I'm nearly at the end of it. Probably longer if you're not very good at the puzzles.
So this is the next Bethesda game that they're going to rip off. Cool.
Yeah.
So Cyberpunk, any change of opinion? Is it heating up, captivating you, or are you kind of like grinding through it now?
It's going up the list of my all-time favourite games. It's absolutely. I'm so absorbed in it. I'm so looking forward to in the evenings now, turning off the lights, putting on the big telly, and just getting so immersed in the world of it all. I think the world, the story that it tells, it's not like a big kind of save the world kind of big grand story. It's just one guy's fight against this corporation. I don't want to say too much, but it's very kind of, the stakes are really high for the one guy, but not for the rest of the world at all. You'll just, if you fail in it, you feel like the guy would losing his mission, and the whole world would just go on without realising it. Really, so it's such a really intense, well written drama. It feels like kind of Blade Runner-esque. It's really good. I'm really invested in the story, and like The Witcher, CD Projekt, other game. The side content as well is really brilliant. Some of the side missions played out, they kind of last about an hour or hour and a half, and you can play them. And I just spent one evening just doing a whole kind of side mission, and it's like a side mission might play out like a kind of detective thriller, and you just play that, and it tells a little self-contained story in an hour and a half, and you just think that was brilliant. Like, that was a side mission that I could easily have just not done. So I am now just finding myself not pushing on the main story, because I want to see all these side missions, and some of them are a bit basic, but then some of them you get and it just totally blows you away and takes you by surprise. It's just like how The Witcher 3 used to do.
Yeah.
I know, Heather, you're a huge Witcher 3 fan, so I would encourage you to give Cyberpunk. You played Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I hated it.
You hated it? Oh, really?
Yeah, I
love this
played it on
podcast.
launch and just
Yeah, it's a totally
Do
different
not wanna
game
go
to the one
back to
at launch. It's totally
Yeah.
different. Like, it was not a good game at launch, and Dan will tell you that we were both just pretty.
I put it down the
Cool.
same way. Just could not play it for love nor money at launch, and fully invested in a nice steelbook and everything for it, and then left it on the shelf. Did the same thing as Laurie, just waited for it to gather a bit of traction and get a couple of updates out. And to be fair, they've salvaged a decent game out of it, but hasn't captivated me in the same way I bounced off it a while ago. I do want to go back to it at some point, but I'm struggling in general, I think, just for picking games because of the baby in the house. So
I imagine it wouldn't be the sort of one I want to play, because I remember when I had the newborn twins, and you let me control, and I tried playing that, and I was just like,
It's
I
put
cannot
you off
play
it.
this game. I'm not in the right frame of mind for this. I'm too tired. You want to just play something you can just dip into quick stuff. Like for you, it's your Rocket League and stuff. It's just, you want to just play something just quite simple and easy that's not going to try and draw you in with too
Rocket
dark,
League,
complex
simple and
story.
easy.
Well, you know what I mean. You don't want to get drawn
How
into
dare you.
something quite dark.
it is if
and-
you're good at it.
How dare you have won Diamond Championship? How dare you?
I wouldn't recommend you play Cyberpunk now, but I think I absolutely really love it. I'm really, really glad that I'm now getting a chance to play it, and it plays really well.
Yep, so thinking about, moving on swiftly about things that play really, really well and things that I think are completely unnecessary. As part of the Summer Games Fest, we had a nice little announcement saying that The Last of Us remaster is getting a remake. Is that a fair thing to say? Yeah, I'll say that.
yeah.
That's probably what I'll say. On the NaughtyDog.com website, on their blog, they've said the growing future of The Last of Us and the latest on the upcoming online experience, which we can talk about, The Last of Us on HBO, and also The Last of Us Part 1, which is the name of the remake coming out. So I'll be the negative one here. It isn't a remake that I wanted. I would like the resources at Naughty Dog to be focused on something that isn't just a way of, one, flogging more units of this game, and then two, making people more engaged with the TV show and giving them something to buy. There's the Hornet, little bell end. Fuck off. Ah, it's coming for me. Can you see it?
Well, don't call it a bell end. It might not attack you.
Oh, yeah, but it's a
For
bell
audio
end.
listeners, Dan is currently running around his conservatory being chased by a hornet.
The slider's off.
I think it's probably just a fly, but he seems to think
It's
it's...
definitely a Hornet, mate.
Yeah.
Definitely a Hornet.
It's
Anyway,
actually
so
just a butterfly, but he's really
It's a moth.
aggressive. So,
it's Druckmann. He's come for me. So yeah. Anyway, it's not something that I'm particularly enthused about. Again, completely see the benefit of putting in the new engine, and you can see just from the quality of the shots they've shown and the video that they've shown. It really is a grounds up remake. Even people have pointed out the assets in the background have been updated and rechanged, and it just seems like they put a lot more love and care into this game than what was in the original game, even though the original game was so rich. So I'm going to come to Laurie first, because I know, Heather, you're talking about this game a lot and it's one of your favourite games of all time, but I want to see what Laurie's opinion is before we come to your probably overwhelmingly positive view.
I am afraid then I'm also very positive. I am very positive about it. I absolutely love The Last of Us, and I think if you put the first one next to the second game, you can tell that they're a generation apart. And Sony want to end this generation with the PS5 hosting amazing versions of The Last of Us 1, 2, and 3, and I think a Factions multiplayer platform, which they will just hopefully, from their point of view, they'll use it to be a platform that will just be like a kind of a Fortnite for them. That's probably their best chance to have a community that's always around this online platform, and they want all three games, and say it's going to be like their Godfather trilogy, that they just want to have us kind of to soak up all the awards and just to really be the peak of kind of that technical side of video games. I think it's kind of Naughty Dog's pride, and they just want this series to be as absolutely as good as it can be. And I think when you see what they do with the kind of before and after of some of the shots they've done, they've released, you can see how much of a step up this one's going to be. And if it's got the same gameplay refinements that the second one has, then I think it's worth it. And I think there'll be a lot of new people coming in that still haven't played it before. And I think if they tried to play one now, you'd have to. It would seem dated compared to number 2. So I can understand why they're doing it, and obviously there's a TV show that's coming out as well. So yeah, Sony just want The Last of Us to be their premier brand, and it will be. It's kind of no expense spared from their point of view.
Happy with it being a crown jewel, happy with the logic you've given. I think it's just, what's the point in having retro games, or point in having a timestamp for these kind of things of, like, graphically, I don't think The Last of Us remake needs to, or the retouch up that came out, remaster. Like, you don't really need to get better than that for that original game, because I don't just want to jump in narrative or in a way of telling the narrative with the second version of the game that comes out. I want an upgrade in graphics as well, which is what The Last of Us Part 2 had. So by bringing the first one in line with that, when's that going to stop? Are we going to get PS6, in 10 years, 20 years, or whatever it might be? And then it's going to be another graphical upgrade for these crown jewels? Are they going to, bring another 2 versions of The Last of Us out? Or is it going to end at 3?
No,
it just seems a little bit like, bit conflicted.
I just think they want all 3 parts of the trilogy all to be able to stand alongside each other and not have one part feel.
But that's defined by the hardware that you use at
than the
that
rest
point
of
in
it.
time, isn't it? So it's always going to be behind at some point. So as soon as you release Part 1 and then Part 1 and Part 2 are together, 3-4 years from now, they won't be a patch on story-driven games that probably even Naughty Dog are creating, let alone everyone else in the market. So then you're going to have to think about, well, do we remaster these things and remake them again and then bring them out again because we think that story needs to be told? Or I'd like a bit of a line in the sand from studios to say, we're happy with this generation, we don't want it to be any more graphically impressive or whatever it is, or the mechanics to play the same way as the second version. We want to focus on something new, and I think that's what PlayStation for me have done really well over the last couple of years, is bring out new IP, whereas this seems to just be a little bit of yeah, just a little bit of a.
I mean, it's a
little bit
cash
of step
grab
back
as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically it. Pause your thoughts, Heather. Come on, knock me off my seat.
I'm pretty neutral, to be fair. Has that knocked you off your chair?
It has actually. I like that.
I get both of your points of view completely, and I mostly agree. I think that they obviously want to create like they're giving it like the big Lord of the Rings special edition treatment, right? So
Yeah.
they've taken
Yeah.
it and they're getting it all in line, and I think that'll be the nice, neat package of the PlayStation 5. Will be 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, it's nice. It gives people an opportunity to play it in, what are they calling it? Like the way they always wanted it to be, but they were obviously limited by the technologies at the time or whatever. And I think you would struggle to play the first one now if you were used to very modern gaming, the same way as you would with like the early Uncharted games. Because like the combat is like, I hate the combat in all of the Uncharted, in all
That's
the
fair.
Last of Us games. I would rather all of them had none, and you spent your whole time doing sneak and just killing zombies. I find a lot of the human to human combat completely crap, but that's beside the point. So yeah, I mean, it all makes sense. It's all very smart. It's all a very tidy way of like getting everything packaged all nice, and you get to tie it in with the show. You get to tie in all the covers. You get to tie in all. I think they've tied in the comics somewhere along the lines. But I think it's a very common thing that you see a lot of. It's only like special edition movies, books, comics, all that sort of stuff. People want the shiny new things. I think there's only a small portion of people who actually want to play stuff as they looked originally.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think I hadn't thought about it in the same vein as how films and TV. You'll get like a Blu-ray and a 4K
Yeah.
UHD, and then you'll get like a DVD. I get that point. I think it's just more the time and the effort and the resource that goes into this. We're not reliant on studios to go and produce Mad Men in 4K in the same way that we're going
Yeah.
and then work on something new. Do you know what I mean? It's like with gaming, it's a bit different. Where these guys that are producing this game, the directorial team, all the senior focus. I would prefer that to be on something else. I get that's not a corporate view, which is strange because usually I'll go down that line of being, all right, well, sensibly this is financial sense. But on that point, just to kind of highlight why this is a cash grab, like Laurie said. So on the Naughty Dog blog again, the digital deluxe version, which is €89.99. So
Yeah.
90 euros. How much is that? £125. Nice little joke for you there. You get increased crafting speed skill. You get increased healing speed skill. You get a 9mm reload speed increase upgrade. You get the rifle clip capacity increase upgrade. You get explosive arrows gameplay modifier. You get the Dither Punk filter in speedrun mode. You get different weapon skins. Like, Naughty Dog have gone full on with this, and it's going to have all of the bells and whistles, the brand new, huge collector's editions, and the things that probably Laurie will get sent if he sends a couple of nice tweets again. But it's just a little bit like disappointing. And again, it'll be wonderful to have the PS5 version of that, and I will buy it. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say it's not something that I'm going to pick up, because I do adore this game as well, and it will be great to have that steelbook again alongside the Last of Us steelbook that I've got. But yeah, I just wish it could have been a cheaper version of it, and then two, it didn't really have a lot of the fanfare that they're trying to put out with, because this shouldn't be the next big thing. It should be something that's really cool that it's coming out. But yeah, the fact it was the highlight of Summer Games Fest was a bit.
Well, that says more about the rest of the games industry right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I do like the way Sony haven't really hyped this up for years. It's just like, we're making this, it's coming out in a few months' time, and it's not going to be our big game of the year, but it's something that we want out there. I think it will make more sense in a few years' time when the rest of their kind of Last of Us master plan is revealed, like all the stuff that's going to tie into this, and it will make more sense why they're doing it. But it is gross what you're saying there about you can sort of increase crafting speed if you pre-order it. Fuck off, make the game the crafting speed is the perfect speed, so it's tense and like just you get a pre-order bonus
Yeah.
and you get rid of that tension. It's like you're making the game worse. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's a very Ubisoft kind of thing to do. I hate it.
It's better there than in microtransactions, but still.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so just conscious of time, just from the two of you as well, do you think, was there any sort of concern that we didn't see God of War over, trailer season over the last couple of weeks?
No.
No.
No? Still confident?
Sony are just working to their own timetable now. I don't think they've not cared about E3 for a few years now, have they? So much as we want
And
to
also, I think
showcase from them.
if you put that trailer out, that's it, isn't it? It's the highlight of the show.
Good point.
And I think
Yeah,
they were
very
probably
good
waiting
point.
to see how big the Xbox one was, and they could have just thought, well, we've got a War trailer, we can drop at any point if we need to recapture the. I
Yeah.
feel like there would not been a huge oh my god, the Xbox blew everyone away, because they could have just put out a God of War trailer on its own, just on Twitter, and that would have, like Heather says, that
Yeah.
could have been the big story of E3, and they've not even need to put a conference together. So they've got that. They'll just put that out when it makes most sense for them. And
Yeah. So just obviously touch on this very quickly. So Final Fantasy VII Remake project, it's confused the life out of everyone now with its naming convention, which is not difficult for Square Enix to fuck up like normal. So the Final Fantasy VII Remake was the name of the first game. We're now getting Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in 2023 in winter, I think. And Rebirth is the second game in the remake project. Yeah, that's straightforward enough. Actually, that's not too bad.
it's terrible.
Really love the trailer. I think it's I said this on a tweet that I posted when I was watching it like a mug doing the night feeds, and it intimates a lot of change within the trailer of the story.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the first version of it did that anyway, so I think we're going to see more changes, and a lot of it was challenging the rhetoric of what happens with Aerith, and I'm not going to ruin that for anyone that hasn't played a 20-year game,
No,
but
come on now.
if that if it's going to diverge away from that, which it seems to be, and it also seems to be pulling in elements of Crisis Core as well, which was also announced for the end of this year, which I think it was called something different, wasn't it? Let me just quickly check. Ever Crisis. Oh no, that's the mobile game. Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier was Season 3. Remake integrates out on Steam. What was the bloody name of it? That was coming out this year. Is this the problem with Square Enix and the games that come out? Crisis Core. Yeah, sorry, it was just called Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. So that's coming out at the end of this year as well. So that looks to be in the same engine, which is fantastic. I didn't really gel too well with Crisis Core. Are you guys fond with any of these, like Dirge Cerberus or the
I have no
originals
idea
that
what you're
came
talking
out?
about, Dan. No.
It's okay. Heather, help me.
I love 9 and 10.
That's the right answer.
Oh, you'll get
7
them
is
that
not my
way, don't you?
favourite. Yeah,
Yep.
7 didn't come anywhere near in my top 20, and it
Nope.
probably would just be about my top 30. So,
So I never finished 7, and I was like, I don't need to play it now because they're remaking it, so I'll just play this new version of it. But it seems like I do need to, you do need to play 7 originally to appreciate what they're doing now with these remakes or rebirths.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of reinterpreting it. It's more kind of like a sort of multiverse style thing to it, and you don't know. So it's like, is this going to have the impact on me if I don't realise what they're changing? Because I never saw out 7 to the end of it in the first place 20 years ago.
yeah, I think, what was it? Remake Integrate. Let me just find it.
I hope they call one Reverse.
Revenge.
Just to piss people off.
Rejig.
Rejig. Final Fantasy Rejig. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what they should call it.
Integrate was the Yuffie expansion. I'm just trying to get my head around this again, because there was one where it was
You
like
don't know it.
yeah, but that's what's worrying me. If I don't know it, no one's going to get it. First Soldier, it wasn't that. It wasn't Ever Crisis. It might have been Ever Crisis. Let me quickly check.
Right, which you're checking out. Sad
It
story.
was Ever Crisis.
Back in the day on the PS1, I got about 30 hours into Final Fantasy VII, and then my little sister wiped my save on the memory card, and I've never gone back to it since. I could not bring
And
myself
he's
to
never
replay
spoken
it.
to her again.
So yeah, I still don't know how. Obviously, I know what happens with that character. That may not happen again this time round. But I don't really know how it ends or the story. I stopped playing it. It was still at the point where the story made no sense whatsoever. And
Yeah.
I was like, so,
Cool. So I'm just going to quickly whiz down now what we know is coming in 2022, games-wise, just obviously updated with the last recent releases. We've got Stray coming out on July 19th.
Yep.
Can't wait for that game. I think that's one, I don't know, Laura, if you're enthused by it, but if the three of us could play it in the same way that the group played Elden Ring, I think that'd
Yeah.
be really cool, just so we can
Instant.
kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
2 Point Campus is coming out. I'd be more excited for that on PC, but again, Batshit Crazy, Roller Dome, that's coming out August 16th. That looked awesome.
Yep.
And that's the Ollie Ollie World dev, isn't it? Roll
Yep.
7, Private Division, yeah. Saints Row, not particularly enthused
Not
by it,
bothered.
but let's see what the reviews are. Soul Hackers 2 by Atlas, that's looking okay and looks like it's going to be a really good JRPG. Again, wait for the reviews. Season, which is that bicycle cycling one, which looks really cool, proper
Yep.
good vibes to that, so looking forward to that. Lord of the Rings Gollum, previews for that haven't been great. It's meant to be a bit naff, but hold out hope. That's September 1st. We've got The Last of Us Part 1 now, coming September 2nd. Overwatch 2, October 4th. Marvel's Midnight Suns on October 7th. Forspoken on October 11th. Still quite confident with that, but we haven't seen a lot of it recently. Bit worried. Square Enix again. Gotham Knights, October 25th. Modern Warfare 2, October 28th. The Callisto Protocol, which looked stunning. Never going to play that game. December 2nd. And then TBC 2022. We've got Star Trek Resurgence, Sonic Frontiers, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, Ghostbusters, Spirits Unleashed, looks quite cool. Goodbye, Volcano High, looks very cool. A Plague Tale Requiem, again very cool. And God of War, Ragnarok. So quite a lot of lovely, lovely games coming out this year. Hopefully God of War doesn't get pushed. People still seem to be very
Big question,
confident
isn't
with
it?
it. Yeah.
The lack
Hopefully
of-
it gets handed soon.
Yeah, the lack of showing it makes everyone feel like they could. I feel like they could delay it, and this year will still be pretty good. It depends on what they've got next year and whether they'll need it next year or not, and whether they'll want to hold it back. And I don't know.
We shall see. We shall see. So, speaking of holding back, Laurie, you've been talking about your video game daddies because today is June 19th, and when we're recording, and it is Father's Day. So, big up to all the single parents out there, all the men, all the women, everyone that's looking after kids. I don't think Father's Day should be a thing anymore. I just think it should just be Parents' Day, and then save a card because I'm sick of one of them. Laurie, you've got your top video game daddies, however, so let's hear your list, mate. Come on.
Well,
love it.
Heather, you've also got a list, right?
I do.
I was going
Yeah.
with you first. I want to hear yours.
Yeah, no, I
and
do.
then,
Yeah.
then
So
we
we'll
criticise
do-
yours.
We'll do my list, and then we'll tear apart Heather's list. This is a bit like the Crosscast did their top 10 games of all time. We've just
This is
done our-
nothing like the top 10 games all time.
We've just
but
done.
have you done it?
I'm hoping Ben's going to have a spreadsheet now and can combine mine and Heather's list using some clever
you got-
pivot tables and stuff.
Are they in order from 10 through to 1? So
No,
you've got a
just-
favourite daddy.
No, just 5 to 1. Yeah, no, I've
5
ranked
to
them. Yeah.
You've got a favourite daddy.
favourite big
I'm
daddy.
here for this. Laurie, in fact, you know what? Let's do...
Dun,
Heather, have you got 5 as well?
dun.
Okay, so let's do 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3.
Okay.
So, Laurie, come on, number 5.
Number 5, I've got Rost from Horizon Zero Dawn. Aloy's,
Oh, that's a really good
Aloy's daddy.
one.
That's a very good one. Yeah.
We don't see him too much, but he kind of has a very strong influence, and he's like an outcast that has to bring up Aloy, and does a pretty good job. So,
Handsome chap.
he's
Lovely guy.
the adopted
Yeah.
adopted parent as well. So for all parents that have adopted their children, I feel like Rost is a great example there.
Cool. Heather, number 5.
Mine's Corvo Atano from Dishonored.
Oh, nice.
Good shout.
Thank you. Thank you.
You only really
spoiler,
get into that
but,
in Dishonored 2, don't you?
Bit of a spoiler, but we'll allow it.
Well, I mean, it's not. If you read the storyline of the game, kind of explains,
Some of mine, well, one of mine may be seen as a bit spoiler, but I purposely left one off because it would have been a massive spoiler to even just say the name of the game. So
Okay, fantastic. Heather, I'm going to ask you for number 4, then go to Laurie for number 4.
Number 4 is Joel.
Good shout. Okay, that's quite low, but then again, he's conflicted.
Yep.
He is conflicted. Okay.
So Joel,
Okay.
Yeah.
Joel.
Laurie, number 4.
Ethan Mars off of Heavy Rain.
That's a good
Does
shout.
he was a bit of a
Jason.
shit dad in that his kid gets kidnapped just when he's taking
Yeah.
him out shopping. He's not the best thing. But then his other kid gets no, he ends up chopping his fingers off to try and get his kid back. So that's some real dedication there.
Some real dedication.
Dedication.
That's one of my favourite drunk conversations is like arguing with a friend over the kid that fell into Harambe's pen at a zoo.
Oh, yeah.
and then trying to figure out, was it bad parenting, or was it like, what was it the zoo's fault? Like, literally sitting there and trying to figure it out, and then never coming to a conclusion ever. Let's move on from that. Number 3, Laurie.
Nathan Drake.
How do you know he's a good parent, though? Because he could be terrible.
Have you seen their house at the end of that game? And
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
You're growing up in that house on the
Sorry.
beach.
Could be slapping her around.
Cat agreed to me. You're surrounded by all
Yeah.
these treasures and things that he's ripped off from all these tombs, all these heirlooms and things.
Oh
and,
yeah, that's
like,
great
taking
parenting. Have you not
lots of
seen
things.
Jumanji? Nathan Drake.
Yeah, but they just live out on the beach, and she just goes always like, the house is amazing, and he's a great dad. He's so wisecracking, and he'd kill anyone to rescue you.
That's a good drinking partner. That's not
Yeah.
good dad. Heather, number 3.
Geralt.
Ooh, now that's a good parent. That's a very good parent. That's how a parent should be. Stoic, strong, principled. Like
Yep.
it. Number 2, Heather.
Victor Sullivan from Uncharted.
Ooh, why is he a bad? Why is he a better parent to you than Drakey boy?
Not to me personally.
What's he taught you, Heather?
He taught me so much. He taught me how to wear really
What
good
would Sullivan do
shirts.
in this situation? I always ask myself.
Yeah. No, because he's just like an all-round fixer, and he's always there, and he's also always there for Chloe and Sam and Nathan and his
Yeah,
whole
okay.
adopted thief children.
Yeah.
Here for
His
it.
thief children. He's not
Yes.
great at then, is he? He's taught them all to be like master thieves. No, Sully is great,
Yeah.
and he's the sort of person. If your boiler broke and you rung Sully up, he would know what to do right away.
Yeah,
And he'd be
but
round
also
with
if
his
you were
rent
like
within
stranded
minutes.
somewhere, like,
Yeah.
or if you'd been robbed, or if you just needed like some bread, he'd
Some
have
bread.
everything. That's like, what is it? Like, what's
In
inconsequential?
his pocket. Ew,
The
get
best
some
you
sugar.
come up with. If you need bread, Sully's there.
Bread. Yeah,
Your-
that's all I need for a good parent.
Your views on parenting, both of you worry me. Laurie, number 2.
I have gone for Geralt. I think he is another great stepdad there. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Here for it. Here for it.
And I was
Number
just- I'm
1.
guessing that we've both got the same number 1 then, which is exciting.
I really doubt that. It's such
No,
a
really? What? Are you,
Laurie, number 1. Come on.
how can you have anyone other than Kratos?
Oh, 'cause he's a
Kratos.
terrible dad.
He's awful.
He's
How is he your number
awful,
1 dad?
awful
What's he?
human
He's
being.
not
At the
got
end of that
bread.
game, because he's got that tough love thing, boy. He learns he learns how to be a dad through that course of that game, and it should become.
By belting
I
people
can
with his
see At the
axe.
start, he may not be the
Yeah.
world's greatest dad, but by the end of that game, he's really teaching.
No, I agree that
Atreus
he
ev-
has the
giving
biggest
Atreus
character
everything he needs
growth,
to
for sure.
stand up and become.
Yeah.
He's going to be like a god in a world hunted by all the other gods, and he needs to give him the tough love he needs to get in there. There you go. See,
On that,
You've got it in
on that
book.
recommendation, there is an ABC book based on God of War, and it
Oh
is
my god,
absolutely
that's
fun.
so cute.
I
See,
got this
look, you
ages ago.
can't say he's not a
He
great
is
dad. You've got
footballing.
a book about how great a dad he is.
Where's my favourite one?
I've forgotten Dan had that. That was not organised.
It's okay.
Pre-planned.
Where is it? Oh yeah, that was a sad one. That's a really good one. So I'll show that to you. So H is for her, the memory between us. Do not mistake my silence for lack of brief. It's something I do not. It's not something I wish to discuss. I is for it will serve you to stop talking. No, you cannot carry the ashes, boy. Keep walking. Look how sad Kratos looks there.
Sad dad.
He's sad because he can't process his emotions.
So sad. Anyway, number 1, Heather. Come on.
My number 1 video game daddy is Lady Dimitrescu.
Yeah, okay, we didn't have the same.
Yeah, when you were like, we've got the same, I was like, categorically, we have not.
I don't think the
Did not
internet
do
will
that one,
decide. Yeah, like everyone is the winner here. All of the daddies are the winner. Oh my god,
Explain yourself.
she scares me.
She's very
Um,
scared.
All the things that we said about the others protecting their children, she does the same. She,
Good point.
is a businesswoman. She's got a nice house.
Yeah.
She's looking after a village of people. Yeah, it's all good.
Just put a roof over your head.
Yeah.
I had
dear.
Joel down as my bonus answer of the worst dad because he just condemns all of humanity to.
Well, that's it. They're all
Zombie
probably
plague,
big,
fella.
aren't they?
Fair. Good point. Good point. If you want to get in touch and let us know about your top 5 video game daddies, please, please, please do not tweet at me.
Tweet at
tweet-
Dan in specifically.
Tweet specifically at Heather and Laurie. Do not even bother the main account. I'm actually begging you not to, especially if some of the answers are
Hold on a
the same
minute.
as these
We
guys.
don't need Ben's spreadsheet here. Geralt is the winner, surely, because he's going to get the most combined points there. So that's
There is no winner here.
A worthy
There is no
winner
winner. Yeah, parenting is the winner. And again, if you want any more of this nonsense, you can go over to Patreon like these lovely people did. Sean Hughes, Tyler Renoir, Jason Frost, Alina DeSouls, Tristan Brooks, Sarah Perbrick, Rebecca Rudrinath, Timothy Olf, Luke Cooper, Kevin Scully, Mark Hammond. We've got Max now as well. I do believe we have the wonderful Gamer Jason as well. And as well, finally, Carl, who's a bit of a bellend. He's one of my friends, and he's doing it out of pity, but still, it's quite nice. And that is your lot for this week. Thank you for joining us on our fortnightly adventure. If you want any MOAR of this ruckus, head on over to thecrossplayers.com, and if you click on the Discord link, you can find all of our rowdy bunch lurking about in there. And again, for $2 or £2, I can't even remember what the currency is anymore on Patreon, you can come immediately into our WhatsApp group where a lot of this nonsense gets discussed. And believe me, we will be talking about gaming daddies later this evening. Heather, I am going to ask you, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Hevtins.
Wonderful, wonderful. Laurie, where can we get you, mate?
I thought Alex decreed that we weren't going to do this anymore in the latest pod.
Ben agreed. Ben agreed.
But if you are going to look me out, it's the Eggman64 on Twitter.
Cool. And I'm going to make Heather say this last part, because Laurie's had to say it, I've had to say it.
Oh shit.
Come on, get it got. Get that bread. You're the daddy now. Come on.
Where are we up to? Right.
The
Okay.
very last line.
And remember, play cross button. Bye!